3 up, 2 across, tap that play button 3 times, and walk through the archway into Dialogue Alley. Hello, and welcome to Dialogue Alley, a podcast about Harry Potter books, book translations, and all other things magical. I'm Eric.
I'm Carly.
And I'm Melanie.
And the 3 of us are Harry Potter book translation collectors. Welcome to Season 4, Episode 1. We've been doing this for a while, which is very exciting.
How cool is that, you guys, by the by?
I was just going to say, so how cool is that, you guys?
Congrats
That's
to
what you
us.
just said.
Seriously, how cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a really cool thing. I'm proud of us.
It's cool, and I find that we never really run out of stuff to talk about. Like, I keep thinking, like, wow, we've done a lot of episodes. This is our 101st episode, and...
But I would still say...
What else is there to possibly talk about? Well, we can come up
and
with
it's
something
so
else.
easy because, quite frankly, we have an overabundance of topics still where we're having to be like, no, we'll talk about this at another time, or this will make it too long, so we'll put a pin in this over here. We still have so many things because, I mean, this fandom has been going on for a bit that I think we've got some longevity here.
Oh, for sure. So if you are brand new to our show, if this is the first time, welcome. We're so glad you're here. The 3 of us, like I said, are Harry Potter book translation collectors, which means we collect Harry Potter books from all over the world in various languages, such as Carly.
Greenlandic.
Melanie.
Hungarian.
I was going to say Hindi. Wow, we almost doubled up on the H's there.
Close.
We could keep going, but we're not going to because there are literally almost 100, more than 100,
Depending
close to
on how
100.
you have your lines drawn.
Depending on what list. Unofficially, for sure, over 100. Different languages that Harry Potter is in. We also like talking about other Harry Potter books, rare books, signed books. Sometimes we talk about Funko Pops. Typically, it's when I'm not on the show. We talk about Funko Pops. But sometimes I'm here and there's some Funko news, so I have to sit and listen to it. How our show usually works is we talk about some Harry Potter news, we have a main segment, and every show we highlight one translation of a Harry Potter book, and we talk about it in depth. We talk about the history of the language, we talk about the history of the book if we know it, and then we look at the book and we critique it. We give it a score, and we base that score on the OWL scores from the Harry Potter books, which range from outstanding down to troll. Personally, one of my favorite parts of the show, especially looking at the book that we are going to talk about today. I'm exceptionally excited to talk about this. I know. I love this one so much. But before we do that, we should get into some news because it's been a while since we've recorded an episode because we take a little break between season 3 and season 4. So let's talk about anything that we have missed in the intro.
So for news, well, first of all, like Eric was just saying, we took a little bit of a break between season 3 and now season 4. We had summer vacays and other summer stuff going on. And one of the bits of our news actually is Eric did this really cool Europe trip and he got a bunch of books while he was there. And I want to know what books you got.
Oh, yeah. So, what the really fun thing about traveling now is that, like, we've talked about this before. My collection was book 1 in all of the available official languages, and that's been done. And that's, Melanie has that done, Carly has that done. So anything that I pick up now, I just pick up because I want to, not because I feel like I need it to complete a collection. So, I had one goal on this trip. I was going to France for part of it, and I wanted to get the new French covers. So the French books have a new set of art for books 1 through 7. And I wanted just to get book 1. I didn't need all 7 because I don't collect all 7. So I got book 1, and it was great. It was so fun. You get to go to a bookstore, and all the bookstores I went to had this out because it's new, and they had a little like cardboard display with the art on it, and
that's so fun.
It was just so fun. I mean, it's the same as like going to Barnes and Noble when they have the little like Harry Potter area set up in the store. Because there's something new, they had like fun little cardboard stuff and stuff hanging from the ceiling,
just
like little
want
stars
all
and
of
stuff.
that.
It was so great.
I would want all of the cardboard displays.
Oh, I know.
Well,
That's the
Christina
problem.
definitely would. Listener Christina from Germany, she collects the cardboard displays.
So cool.
But yeah, it was really fun. So like just standing there in the bookstore looking at all the stuff that I wasn't going to buy was still just as fun as buying the one book I did. The bookstore that I went to also sold used books in addition to the new books. So it was kind of like what they had is what they had. So I also bought the Pottermore book. That's kind of the reddish one.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have that one. I have the big one of that one too.
Yeah, and this was the one. It was the audiobook art originally. It's kind of red with an owl on it. And this was the first one to use this cover for a printed
I think
version.
you're correct.
Believe so.
These are by Ollie Moss, aren't they? I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
they are. And if you like go to Amazon US and you type in Harry Potter French book, this is pretty certain like the cover that's going to come up because
really?
they made a ton of these.
Hold on, I'm going to look at that because I have books 1 and 2 for that set, and I want to have the complete set because, like, for my collection, I collect all unique cover art. So for me, I would want these books, like the Pottermore books, but I would want them for whatever they came out with first because we also have these.
Right.
They came out in
I have them
Portuguese,
mainland Chinese. I have the hardcover set of those, and they're actually really spiffy. But because I have that set,
they're nice covers. I like them. They're very simple. It's almost like an adult edition, in my opinion. Like there's nothing on it that is like childish, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Especially when you compare them to the original French books, which do look a little like kiddie in terms of the art style, which I love the art style of those books, but I do see like how this is different. And then the other book I got was also, I don't know what you would call this one. It's kind of like blue with giant silver Harry Potter and this little picture of Hogwarts at the bottom. They all look very similar to this, but I don't know if they have this one in other languages. Carly, do you know if this version ever came out in other languages?
That's the only one that I'm aware of.
Yeah, and so I couldn't find it either. I had a really hard time getting any sort of cell service in the store because the kids section was in the basement in both locations I went to. So like I couldn't look it up on my phone to find out like if there were other ones. So I bought it anyway because it was €3. So I was like,
that's a really good price for that because those tend to be like that cover.
Love that set.
Yeah, that cover tends to be in decently not like expensive high demand, but they tend to sell higher than like the first editions unless they're like a wanted print.
Right. Well, and that just goes to show like if you can go to a country or if you're already going to a country, you can get these books for really cheap. Like this one was €5, this one was €3, and then the brand new one with the brand new art was $8.95.
That is such a good price.
Right. So like and you don't, which is what you pay for books in the United States, but you just don't have to pay the shipping costs. So like under $20 for 3 books that I didn't have in my collection, and they just fit right in my suitcase, which was fantastic.
And no shipping. I'm so envious.
And no shipping. And speaking of no shipping, when I arrived in Berlin, at another part of my trip, I had gotten to my friend's apartment and he notified me that I had a package that I had shipped to his apartment that I didn't know I had shipped to his apartment, and I honestly had no idea what it was. And I looked at who it was from. I recognized the person, but then I just opened it and it was a box set of 4 German books, and it was sent to me by Christina again. and I looked up the texting thread I had with her when I purchased this, and it was from, she actually has a post on her Instagram page that you can look up to get more information, but there were employees at a company or a bookstore, I'm not really sure on the tale, but as like their gift, they all received books 1 through 4 in this special box set, and it really doesn't look anything spectacular. It's very plain, but the cool thing is it's not available for purchase. It never was. So the only way to get one is if you worked for this company and they gave it to you as a gift. So I thought that was really cool, and so I bought that from her, and instead of shipping it to the United States, I must have had the foresight to tell her, hey, I'll be in Germany, so just mail it to my friend's apartment. But then I lacked the follow-through in planning on that, so I had to make a lot of room in my suitcase. But I did. I made room, and I brought all of my books home. So I got that box set of 4 books from Germany, and then the 3 books from France. And honestly, bringing a box set from Germany home with you is like 10 out of 10 recommended versus having it mailed to you, because we've all talked about what happens to boxes from Germany. They all break. They always break. No matter how well you pack them, it's something happens. So that was really nice to bring that book home in my suitcase along with the French books. So that was it. I mean, I saw books in other countries, like Monaco had books, but they were in French. Right. And like I went to Poland, they had books in Polish, but like nothing new. Yeah. Like they don't have anything new in those countries. So I was very, very pleased at the books I was able to get in the countries I went to that I didn't need, but I was able to get. Germany did not have a book out that I wanted to buy that actually is out like now, but it wasn't out the week I was there, which is disappointing. It's like we'll talk about that one in a little bit. Yeah,
we'll chat about that.
French did have an entire set that I wanted that we're going to talk about also in a little bit, but I could not justify taking up a full
You need to bring a whole other suitcase.
Yeah, when I know that like if you buy it on Amazon France, you can pay €25 for shipping, which is very, very reasonable for
it really is
a box that size.
Yeah, it is.
So that's it. Those are my book pickups. I love it. I love, love, love being somewhere else and looking for Harry Potter books. Even if I don't buy anything, it's just so fun to go to bookstores. I also learned, Carly, at the bookstore that Where's Waldo in French is called Where's Charlie. They named him Charlie in French because why not?
Because pourquoi pas?
That's so fun.
Who knows? I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure there was a meeting and they're like, we can't use Waldo. That's what the Americans use. We have to use a new name. Charlie.
That's so fun.
Yeah, that was fun. It's so fun looking at books, especially kids' books like Hungry Caterpillar. You know, books that that are just in these other languages, and they're at the bookstores. And I love like the little reading nook area for the kids and stuff. It's just, I love going to bookstores, old like used bookstores, new bookstores.
Did you go to
if you travel, highly recommend
the Shakespeare bookstore in Paris?
No,
it's my favorite bookstore that I've been to in the world.
Oh, I wish you would have told me that.
I thought I did. I probably did not, but
maybe you did. I don't know.
She probably did in her head. She probably did in her head. She thought she told you
because it really is.
It turned out that she didn't actually.
Phenomenal. It's at Kilometre Zero. It's right by Notre Dame.
Well, I was over there.
Yeah.
I actually found the note that my friend left for me and hid.
Oh, I love when that
happens. That's so cool.
But she shoved it in these like wooden bleachers and folded it up, and I'm like, there's no way it's gonna be there. And it was there, but it was outside, so it just rained on this thing. And like I saw it, and I like tried to pull it out, and the paper just ripped and shredded, and I didn't have anything to like dig it out. Like I needed like a screwdriver to like pull it out of this crevice in these wooden bleachers. But
such a fun
I did
thing.
see it. That was fun. Like it was still there. It was really cool.
Did you get a picture of it?
Yeah, I took a picture of it. She also left me a note in a nightclub in Berlin, but I didn't go to the nightclub. So
it could still be there and you'd never know.
I don't know. I wasn't going to go to a nightclub that opened at like 1 a.m. just to look for a note. So
That's a whole different kind
I found
of
the
life.
one in France. That was worth it. So that is my book.
I love
Tale.
it.
Book telling, getting stories. So
But Melanie, you went to France too, right?
yeah, pretty much exactly the same. The France that I went to was in Epcot. So much smaller version. And I went to a bunch of other countries because I was in Epcot. It was so weird. What a weird trip, just in that it was the first time I've been to Orlando in probably like probably like my whole life, honestly, that I didn't go to Universal, and it was a completely like Harry Potter free trip. It was all a complete Disney trip. I had texted Peter on one of the days because I had like a Disney question, and then he didn't answer me until the next day. And turns out that he was like in Orlando filming content, and I was like super bummed that we were both in the same place.
The stuff that he posted, I'm like, I bet he was there recently. I wonder if he was there the same time that Melanie was in Florida.
He was there. We overlapped like 1 or 2 days. But I missed him. I'm so bummed about it. But I had just such an awesome time. My day in Epcot was like the perfect Disney day. Everything worked out exactly as it should have. Like, we hit every single ride right in time to not hit any lines. We got to go on everything we wanted. We got to eat everything that we wanted. We found like a hidden Japanese restaurant and like ate sushi and air conditioning for like an hour. It was just top notch. We did like all those like really cutesy like touristy things. Like Epcot has so many of those like hidden gem kind of things that you see on TikTok all the time, like opening pearls in Japan for $20 because why not? Or there's a guy that carves rings, like carves like names or words in brass or gold, whatever you want, in Mexico. So I got one of those and like all this really cool stuff. We went on everything. I met Mickey. I hugged Donald.
Did they have in the World Showcase, did they still have native speakers working at the pavilions?
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably my favorite part.
That stopped for a while during COVID because they couldn't get
that's
visas.
probably my favorite part about Epcot is the people in
so great.
Each country are like authentic to the country. It's so cool. So stinking cool. Yeah, everything about it was just like it was my perfect little Disney trip. No Harry Potter though. It was like sad now, but what's good about it is now I miss it, and now I really want to go. So I'm excited about it. I was telling like I was saying like to a few people in Discord that like I'm currently in like a bit of book jail, and I put myself in book jail. I did it to myself, but just trying to like be mindful and like realize that I'm not the same person that I was when I first started this collecting journey, where I was living with my parents, working a job, not paying any rent, not paying anything. So I was able to buy whatever books I wanted, and now I have to be a bit more mindful of that. But I don't know. Hopefully I can break out of jail soon, because there are so many books that I want, and we're going to talk about a lot of those in our main segment.
So the main segment I'm actually really excited about. Well, I'm excited about all of our main segments, but that's beside the point. Today is actually super awesome.
I'm not excited to talk about this main segment.
I don't want to talk about
I don't want to talk about this one.
But I think this is actually a really good segment. We're going to be talking about like new books that are out this year that are on our buying radar. Like Eric mentioned earlier, me, Melanie, and him, we've all kind of completed our collection. So everything that we're buying is like this great icing on a beautiful magical cake, right? So these are books that we're keeping our eye on for different reasons. even if there's some redundancy, like we already have the language or whatever, but it could be different art or for whatever reason. So I think this is good to go over because it's alerting people that, hey, these things are there, and they're also not, I don't think, going to be going out or hard to find anytime soon. So there's time to buy them, which I think is good.
Absolutely. Well, these are things that I don't necessarily need all of them, but I think between the three of us, one of us will get something that's on this list. And
I mean, I want most of the books that are on this list.
I want the list, so there's that. But some of them I already have. Some of them I already have, so that at least I'm not buying the full list that's here. But it's still there. I've got some stuff to be selling to get where I need to go, because I'm kind of in book jail too. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it, and let's mention what it is, and then if we either have it or plan on getting it.
No, that's just too much detail.
I refuse. I refuse to talk about it. I refuse to say anything about books.
So the book, and I think it's out for order today, right? The German 1 through 7 book. It's a book.
People have.
It's all it. I'm trying to find the words to do it because it's so cool, and I'm actually really excited about it. All 1 through 7 are going to be bound into one book, you guys.
Oh, yeah. It's actually today, as we record this, which is August 30th.
Right.
Today, it is now available for purchase.
And it's only €99 plus 25 euro shipping. So €125 is not a bad price for this thing. I mean, the German books weigh a ton individually. So I know they've got to be using super thin, Bible thin page, paper. But I'm really excited to own this. It looks different than the other books that I've seen art wise. And it's the first Harry Potter book that is authorized to have this concept where it's all books 1 through 7 in one bound edition.
I'm so excited about it. And I'm hoping that it turns into a gateway book. This is the first of many books that we'll see like this.
I would not be surprised if anniversary editions start coming out looking like this. Just because it's cool.
I would love that.
I know.
Yeah.
And then they could use still really cool new art to separate the different books within the volume itself. The art possibilities here with this are also pretty limitless because you've got chapter art, you have other art, you have, they could have art dividing the books as well. So instead of new covers per se, it's just an art page between the two books, which I'm hoping they've done. And it's Carlson. Carlson does really good things.
Yeah, I think the only other thing that would be, Johnny's messaging us now, and he said it's a new text block, so does it count it as our thing? But isn't it the same translation? So then I wouldn't necessarily count it.
Unless, it should be the same translations, even if it is a new. But then
he's like, but it's all one book. It is all one book. But
if it's this, I could see falling off of people's radar, right? Because it's not a new translation. So I could see people not caring about it. I'm personally going to buy it with my next paycheck.
Oh, I 1000% need to get this book. If we're going through and giving the detail that Eric requested, this book it's been on our radar for a long time, and definitely I think out of the books that we're going to be talking about,
this is the one
that I'm most excited for.
Same.
Yeah,
in fact, when we were discussing, so in our Discord that we have for our patrons, someone posted a link about it. I forget who at the moment, and I was so excited. I was worried it was too good to be true because I've wanted something like this for a while. I think all of us have, and I was worried it was going to be an unauthorized thing because I don't really do unauthorized books here. But no, it was very much a thing. So super exciting there.
I bought it today. Germany.
Perfect.
Yeah, I went down there. I was like, you know what? I want it. I'm I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna buy it now. Someone can give it to me for a gift or something.
I'm just gonna
buy it now.
Super excited.
So I did. It was €99 plus 25 shipping. It was like after taxes or whatever. It was like 127 euro. It was not bad. Actually.
Not considering that we've spent more for box sets, So, and that's essentially what you're buying without the box. So you don't have to worry about it getting damaged in shipping.
I would have bought this book in any language because of the concept.
Exactly.
Like, if it came out in Slovenian, I would have bought it in Slovenian. Like, no matter what language it came out in, it's the first one to do all 7 books in one volume.
And
that you could conceivably just grab, and then you have all of them, and you can read it forever.
I know. And I'm super excited that Carlton is the one who does it, because the books that they produce are pretty stellar. So this should be, I'm hoping, a very good quality made item.
Indeed. So can't wait for mine.
Ready.
It's supposed to show up like 2 weeks.
Fabulous. I can't wait to buy mine.
It said early September. So
I could have paid 30 more euro for it to come 2 days sooner. I chose not.
Yeah, I don't know that that's worth the 30 euros.
No.
Nope. So this is actually really cool. I've been messaged about this as well. It's the German anniversary box set. They re-released it with the cards. So for a while, I'm sure y'all know that those got harder to find.
That's the 20th anniversary books?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. The box is red. It's kind of like a steampunky aesthetic.
Yeah. We've talked about it because...
I bought mine used from Brock, who's listening right now, for more than the new the price is coming.
But we didn't know they were going to re-release it.
There's no way that you would know.
So they
No, exactly. I'm so glad I bought it, because if I hadn't, it would have never been re-released had I not bought a
Very
used
true.
set from Brock.
Very true. But
rule.
they've re-released it with the cards. I think this also has, so when the box sets were released, they also had like the little cardboard cutout dolls of Harry Potter, Hermione.
Yeah,
they're little paper dolls.
Little standees.
Of the trio.
I think they're also included. I could be wrong though. I haven't looked too in depth.
Okay,
but
they are. They just popped up on my Amazon because I was looking at the previous German book. So that one is 99 euro. This new box is 159 euro.
Whoa.
Which I mean, the only reason why I don't want this set is because obviously I already have books 1 through 7 of these books, and I'm just mad about the fact that I bought them all individually as they came out and didn't wait for the box.
I remember that.
Then the box came out.
I remember when the box came out, how mad you were. The text messages were all in caps for a bit.
Because you guys know I love a box. Like, I prefer a box.
I know.
If box is an option, I want the box. And like now, I guess that it's kind of like good that I have myself in book jail, because it has me waiting on certain sets to come out. In the same breath, like another set that we're going to be talking about is Estonian, and I feel like it's only a matter of time before it's a box set, and I'm going to be mad about it.
Yep.
It's like the re-release of or not re-release, but the new Croatian translations that we've talked about.
I'm worried.
Times already.
Yep.
Last season, like I'm abstaining from getting all of them, even though they have unique art as of now, because it's just the audiobook art in book form. But I just have this feeling that once they get all 7 out, they're going to have a box set.
Same.
That's what happened to the Taiwanese books. They
feel
all came
like...
out, and now they come out in a box set.
All right, I feel like with Croatian, my reason for not waiting is because of how quick Croatian just kind of vanished. Like, I feel like it just happened so fast where we were like, oh my God, it's all of a sudden impossible to get Croatian books. So, like, that has me a bit nervous. Also, we've never seen a box set from Croatia. Also
true.
Croatian is just like a bit sentimental. Like, those books, like in particular, I feel like I have like sentimental connection to. So that's why I just don't want to risk like waiting for a maybe box set.
That makes
I don't know.
sense,
I guess
too.
that's just like never. I feel like that's just never been my like vibe. Has been like waiting for a box set. I just buy the books as they come out, but then I always regret it. So I don't know.
I think the Croatian logic, I know we're skipping ahead, but I think that is a good point about they've not had one so far, so why would they have one now? And the audiobooks...
Because this... Oh, no, I was going to say this would only be the second time that they have a full set.
Right.
If you think about it.
So,
But they didn't do it with the first
Right.
set, so...
No,
they didn't. Well, so we can just mention that now, like, there will be more Croatian books coming out this year. Like, they haven't announced specific dates for all of them, but it is very likely that hopefully more of the new Croatian books
we've
will come
got
out.
4 through 7 left. So if I'm guessing we'll probably get at least to book 4 before the end of the year.
I'm sure. I feel like 1 through 3 came out really quickly.
Yeah, there's not a lot of time in between, which...
Well, they're all done, especially the later ones. It's not a new translation because it's the...
Unless they're revising that translation to be more in line with this.
Well, they could be revising it, but they didn't have to start from scratch because the translator that did the later books is the translator that did the new translation of the earlier book.
That's true.
So it's the same person. So now, like, there's the
continuity should be much better with
all
these.
the books. Right.
Yeah.
And circling back really quickly to the 20th anniversary German, for those who are curious, these are the ones that are illustrated by Jacopo Bruno, and they look very different from the rest of the German books. It's that set, and we'll put a picture of it up as well.
Yeah, and easy to buy. Like, I think this is before we go much further, like the first 2 that we talked about, the German 1 through 7 and this box set, both available on Amazon Germany, so amazon.de. You can use your Amazon US account or Amazon UK account. It's the same company, right? If you have a credit card that doesn't have foreign transaction fees, this is the time to use that. So it saves you a lot of money there. Amazon offers, like, you can pay in whatever your currency is. So, like, at checkout, it'll say, would you like to pay in US dollars or euro?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay in US dollars, it's fine. You can do it. But you'll pay an additional transaction fee for them to convert the currency. So if you have that credit card that doesn't have foreign transaction fees, you want to pay in the local currency. So you want to pay in euro. However, if you just have a credit card that does have foreign transaction fees, you want to pay in your local currency and let Amazon charge you that, because then your bank won't charge you that and Amazon will get you a better deal. So
yep. Very good point.
You're still paying more. You're still paying more if you don't have a no foreign transaction fee card, but you want to be smart about it and then not pay in a foreign currency if you do pay those fees. Sorry, that was very confusing.
No, it actually
the bottom line is
it actually
money tips from Eric. If you have a no foreign transaction credit card, if you don't have one, you should. If you're gonna buy lots of these books or even travel a lot, just get one. Like, you can get one for no annual fee. I know I'm like, hey, get a credit card, everyone. Spend lots of money. No, but if you do travel or buy stuff internationally online, having one without those fees is so
important,
beneficial. Yep. And if you're going to pick one, just get a Visa card because they take it most places. Like, I have an Amex and a Visa that have no foreign transaction fees, but the Visa is the one I end up using most of the time on international websites because they don't take Amex.
Right. My MasterCard is the one that has no foreign transaction fees.
That's a good one to have too, especially in Europe.
Exactly. MasterCard, Visa are great cards for Europe. There
you go.
There's hot money tips from Eric.
Wow. And now we've got some cool stuff coming out of France that I'm super excited about. We have the 25th anniversary box set, and France they don't make a lot of box sets. I mean, they do exist, certainly more than other places, but not every set they make has a box. So I'm super stoked about the 25th anniversary box set.
Well, this one's out. You can buy it right now on Amazon France. David in our Discord actually has one. I saw it at his house. This is one I want. I saw it in person in France. I didn't have the space to bring it back. It's not much. It's like €100 plus 25-ish
Which
shipping.
Isn't bad. And it's just Amazon FR for those who are not sure what the site is for France. It's amazon.fr.
Yeah, the Amazon France site's a little bit more difficult to navigate than the German site, but really, if you try a little bit, you can make it happen. It's not hard.
No.
But this set's really cool. The books all look the same. as the normal French folio junior books. But the box is what's new. The outside of the box is really great. When I went to David's house, he had it displayed with the back of the box out because it's all new art from the original artist. And it's just spectacular. And this one also comes with the cards.
Oh,
like
cool.
the
I didn't
German
realize it
books
came
do.
with the cards like that. I love...
Yeah, it comes with the cards too.
Cool.
So when Carly mentioned the cards for the German books, the German cards are just the cover of all the German books, and the French box set is the covers of all the French books. So they're really great to display or hang up if you want to frame them. They would look really cool. So if you have the French Room of Requirement set, you already have cards with the art on them. So like you could justify, framing one of them and like leaving one of them in the pack. So I mean, do with what you will. But really, if you're getting this French anniversary set, it's either because you don't have any of the French books yet, or you just really want that unique art to have box out.
Which would be what I would be doing.
Is what I would do too.
I would do that also.
Same.
That would be a missed opportunity.
And this is on my to-buy list, but I want to get the German, like the 1 through 7 all-in-one book first, just because it's new.
I had it in my Amazon France cart today, but I already bought the German book and another one that we'll talk about, and I was like, I can't spend any more money today.
Book jail. And moving along, France not only has this cool new box set featuring new art on the box, they also have a set out with brand new cover art that I haven't seen in a box yet, at least. And I want 1 through 7 of these so badly.
They're so good.
They are, and they're such a nice departure from other things that France has done, but you can look at it and it still looks very French.
It does, but it seems to have like a manga influence almost.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of nice just because we've had other countries that have kind of come up with similar cover art recently. So it goes in line with what we're seeing coming out of other places, translation cover art wise, I guess. But I'm really, really stoked. I need to have all of those.
I feel like next to the German book, like the all-in-one volume book, this is probably like the next.
This is definitely a number.
List that
it's the German all-in-one because the concept is new, not just the art. And then it's these guys are like a very close number 2.
Yeah, definitely.
And coming in for me, at least, as a very close number 3 is our next little topic. It is the new. So Estonian, in case you didn't know, came out with all new art 1 through 7. So they've republished in hardcover. They're really nice. And I only have book 1. And I want the rest of those because it's such a nice departure again from the rest of the art that we've seen, and it's unique only to Estonia, which is super cool, especially since their first editions, they have soft and hardcover. They're Mary Grand Pré, which is the US cover art illustrator. So they have their own art now, and I want all of those. And that's a very close number 3 for me.
I just have to finish
These
that
are
set.
cool. Oh, go ahead, Melanie.
No, it's just...
You're doing it too, Melanie?
Yeah, I mean, that's just a set that I have to finish. I have 1 through 5. Sean messaged me the other day and was like, Estonian ? And I just wrote back, book jail, period. I don't think that's exactly what I wrote back, but I was like, gotta wait, unfortunately. I mean, I want them and need them, but I just have to...
Right. And the colors for the books are they're different. They may be like a purple, but it's a different purple than what's been used on other books that I've seen. So I really love, or like the teal that they've used, I think, in one of the books. I don't know what 6 and 7 the colors are, actually, off the top of my head. Either, but I've loved what they've used so far.
I don't even, what's 1?
They're not like the typical Roy G. Biv.
No.
Like,
they're not.
Color. Like, it's always like a color, but it's a little bit like farther on the spectrum than like the normal.
Yeah, it's like a foresty green and oceany blue, a really pretty teal, a bright red, and then I don't know.
But there's still kind of nice jewel tone-ish colors here. Like they've done this very well. Yeah.
These are bold books.
Yeah.
Well, and they're simple covers, which is really cool. And like, this is not a set that I'm buying. I have book 1. This is something that like I'm leaving open, right? In case like, hey, Someone's like, hey, what can I get you for your birthday? And I'm like, well, I don't have any ideas, but you get me an Estonian book too, maybe.
That's
because you can still buy them. Like, you can buy them new. So
they're not in high demand.
There's no hurry.
They're not, selling out. They're not becoming really hard to find, at least not yet. They're around, and that's nice. That's why they're like top 3 for me, but they're the 3rd.
I mean, this one is just like a thorn in my back because I have almost all the set, and I know that the other ones are out, and I just need them.
Right.
So they're just like annoyingly jabbing me.
I know, but there's really no rush.
They're not going anywhere, right?
I mean, they're not going anywhere.
I hope not. And if they do, I'm going to send an angry email to the publisher. It'll be fine.
You do that, Carly. You do that.
I will, because that'll totally sway them. And moving along, this book I actually have, and it's the 25th anniversary Spanish of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and it is an amazing book. Everything,
I need that book.
Yes, everything is a treat for the eyes. They thought about literally everything. The spine is holographic. The edges, all of them, top, bottom, middle, they're all like this nice kind of grayish lavender purple.
So gilded, but not quite.
And well, they're definitely
Melanie's a sucker for the old gilded
they're
edge.
definitely sprayed.
I love a gilded side edge.
It is Johnny Duddle cover art, which Spanish has done, but they have taken it and given it a wonderful twist. Again, it's a hardcover. It's a big hardcover. It's thicker than the usual Spanish, and the edging, like all of the pages, have this wonderful edging that matches the kind of the paste downs. When you open the book, you see those paste downs with the stars. All of the pages throughout have that. And then the font itself is, I can't tell if it's purple because of the lighting, but it's a really nice black if it is not. Like, it's just a really well thought out book. Yeah, it is. I'm honestly afraid if they finish out the set, because I'm just going to have to buy 1 through 7, because I've been able to leave some things off because I already either have them, it's redundant, I'm out of space. I can't not buy, 2 through 6 or 2 through 7 of these because they're too well done. Even though it is Johnny Duddle art, so there is some redundancy there. It's not, we don't have anything from any country that looks like this. They have made it so special, and they've done such a wonderful job. The quality is phenomenal. I can't say enough good about it.
And this is, to my knowledge, only available in Castilian Spanish from Spain.
I think you're right.
If you
that's where
want
I
this
found
book,
it. Amazon Spain.
Yeah, I bought it today on Amazon Spain, right after I bought my German book. Yeah, so if you go on Amazon Spain, you can buy this book also. So all of my hot money tips still apply to Amazon Spain. But yeah, this book was like €25 total.
It's just the cost of a new book.
After shipping, it was...
It's super doable.
Or maybe plus shipping. It wasn't that much, honestly. But again, if you're buying like one thing from a foreign country on Amazon, the shipping's going to be more than if you buy like a few things. So while you're on Amazon Spain, maybe you could pick up some other Harry Potter books that you don't have.
If you don't have the 20th anniversary Spanish books, they are definitely worth getting, because they're the house
those are
books.
Cool. Throw one of those in your basket.
They went in the house book direction, and they are some of the nicest translations of the house books that I've seen, and I actually have quite a few. I've got France and Hungary, Japan, Russia, Ukraine didn't make one, and others. I forget who else I've got, but I've got a few of the other house editions.
Well, and even like the just the unique. It was unique to
UK at once.
It's unique to Spanish, but not unique to Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
kind of
the house editions are really nice.
Art.
Going back to that, if you want to just add those to your cart along with this 25th anniversary, because it's delightful.
Your basket. They have baskets in the European Amazons. Apparently.
Yes. Moving right along, and this one I'm actually really excited about as well, because everything they've done is just super stellar. It's the Mina
this
Lima.
is like a grand finale.
Yeah. It's the Mina Lima book 3, which is their like interactive books. And And Mina Lima, for those who may not know, are the ones who designed the props for the Harry Potter movies. And they are making these interactive, illustrated Harry Potter books. And their book 3 comes out in October. And I've actually got some friends at work who they're reading the Harry Potter books to their kids, and they knew about Jim Kay. They didn't know about Mina Lima until like we were talking one night, and they bought Mina Lima 1 and 2, and now they're super excited about 3.
That's what I read to my daughter for the first time ever. Harry Potter book 1, Mina Lima.
That's awesome. I would think that'd be a really neat experience because you get to play with the things. It's very tactile. Totally. It's very tactile, and I would think that would make it a much more memorable experience since your hands are involved.
Right. Well, and she would just like it was kind of awkward when she would like groan when like the next page were just like 2 normal pages with like, words on them. I'm like, I'm sorry, like there's nothing to play with on this page, but there are some key plot points that we're about to experience, so listen up, kiddo. Like the previous 2 Mina Lima books, you can buy this book directly from their site, and you can get a signed copy from Mina Lima, not J.K. Rowling, but by Mina and
Lima, for a signed book, just buying it at like normal book price is pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome. You do have to pay
shipping from UK.
Shipping from the UK, which can be spendy, and I get that. I haven't decided. I honestly have forgotten if I've pre-ordered this or not.
I have not.
I will need to check. I will need to check this. I only have a signed copy of the first book. We've already discussed this. Melanie's like, you fool, you should have gotten one for the book 2 and probably book 3 also.
How cool is it like to have a signed set? Like, I just feel like it's so cool.
Well, it would have been if had I been book 2 signed, but I didn't. So, like, why would I get book 3?
I only have book 1 signed just because there's so much going on in my life when book 2 came out. So I'm probably not going to buy a signed book 3 just because then I would feel like I would need a signed book 2, and I'm not going to pay a lot of money for that, if that makes sense. Not that I don't value it, also, but you know what I mean?
Also, you mentioned these are interactive books. We've talked about this before. If you read them and like do all the activities in them, they look red. They get poofy. They're not as flat.
So a reading copy and a playing copy or a reading copy and a keeping copy, or keep nice copy is not a bad idea.
Yeah, I think I have like
so I've been buying 2 copies of each of these, which is fine, and I have like if you're buying a signed copy plus the shipping plus a reading copy, like that's a lot. That's almost like $100 per.
It is, and they're going to keep the book prices are going to keep going up. High. Yeah, and
so I'm fine getting like one for $20 at
Costco
when it comes out.
My Costco has.
Yeah, they usually have them.
They
at Costco,
do.
Yeah.
Like I paid my book 2. I paid $22 at Costco. So just for if for those who are on a budget and you want a really cool book, you can buy this really cool book on a budget at Costco if you're a Costco member.
It's such a great book. I can't wait for that one to come out. I always get excited when it's like a Barnes and Noble book. I feel like I get so excited because like I have a Barnes and Noble that's 3 minutes from my job, and just the fact that I could go on my lunch break and go like scoop the book up, like it just gets me through my day.
And it gives you something to look forward to. Like it's like only 2 more hours until I get to go, and I at least start planning my routes, and I'm going to do this and walk in, and it's right here, and boom, I'm out in 10.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
I'm ready.
probably what if I have not pre-ordered this. When I look after this, I will probably stop and pick it up on my way home. Because that is exciting.
Yeah,
it's so
and the
exciting.
color, it's a really pretty like teal-ish color for book 3, and I love
so
teal.
Nice.
Yeah, I love the color palette is so spectacular, much like their art and the things that they've created for us over the years. And they're so much fun to watch on social media. So if you're not following them on Instagram, you're sorely missing out because they really are delightful. I enjoy their content.
Is that it? Is that our books on the radar?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
And I think it needs to be because the book that we have for our translation of the show, I can't wait to hear Eric talk about.
Wow. The translation of the show is the... Melanie, do you want to say it, or do you want me to say it?
No, I need you to say it, because it's one of my favorite things you do.
Okay, well, the translation of the show is the new Korean translation, 1 volume.
Hardcover.
Books one hardcover, yes.
In 1 volume.
In 1 volume. New Korean, hardcover, 1 volume. It is truly, like, one of my favorite books that we've ever talked about. And it's bizarre because it's a Johnny Duddle cover of a book. And like Carly mentioned with the Spanish anniversary book that's out, like, there are Johnny Duddle covers, and then there are Johnny Duddle covers. And this is one of those Johnny Duddle covers. It is so amazing. And when this book came out, it was also during COVID. I was living at my parents' house, and we'd gotten the Yiddish book. It was like Johnny Duddle cover, which is great. We just talked about that the last episode. The Yiddish book is outstanding interpretation of the Duddle cover. But when I saw they had this book for the 20th anniversary from South Korea, and you could get it in softcover, 2 parts, or hardcover, 1 part, of course I had to do the hardcover because the first translation I only had the softcover. So got the hardcover. It came in the mail. I think I bought it from a seller on eBay.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, because I sent it to both of you too.
Yes.
And they sent some free tea. They sent some free tea with my book, which was amazing. The tea was not good, but whatever.
But the thought that counts.
The gesture was great.
I appreciated the free bag of tea. But man, this book arrived, and like, it is one of the books that you cannot photograph how great this book is because of just the shimmer and the shine. It is so incredible. The sticker on the front's incredible. The font's incredible. I'm getting ahead of ourselves. We haven't talked about it yet, but I did a whole bonus episode about how much I love this book, and I think it's mostly because it was like news to all of us that they'd retranslated the Korean book, and it was Johnny Duddle art, so we're like, yeah, okay, whatever. So it was just, I had such low expectations for this book, and it turned out to be anything but. It was and is still one of my favorite translations. It's just stellar. So let's talk about it, and you're going to make me talk about it. So
I just want to listen. I just want to keep listening to you talk about it because I have such giggles. Keep going.
All right. Well, this book is from South Korea. The translator is Dong-yuk Kang. That's what I'm going to say. And the publisher is Moonhak Suchup Publishing. And Korean, I mean, this is just Korean in general. It's the native language for about 80 million people. It's it is the official and national language of both North and South Korea. However, like if you talk to people about the nuances of the Korean language, Northern Korean and Southern Korean are a little bit different. However, they're both understandable to each other. They're just because of the ways those countries are. I'm hopefully not like telling you news about the 2 Koreas that you don't know. North Korea is very isolated, so they don't have Harry Potter there. They don't have much exposure to the rest of the world. So their Korean is more like older and traditional. Southern Korea has, changed with the times a little bit. So the languages are a little bit different with their dialect. But you would not find this book anywhere besides South Korea. That is where this book is from. How did we get ours? I just told you. I got mine in the mail from eBay from a seller from Korea. I believe both of you did as well.
Yes.
I did because I thought I had this book and I had the wrong one. And
yes.
I had posted it on my website, and Eric messaged me and was like, Melanie, you posted the wrong picture. Maybe you meant to take a picture of a different book. And I was like, no, isn't this the new translation? And you were like, no, it's not. This is the link for the new translation, and you should get it in this 1 volume. And I did, from the link that Eric sent me.
Did you get any tea with yours?
I didn't get tea. What a shame. I didn't realize I was missing out on some tea.
maybe the person was just cleaning house and was getting rid of things when they shipped it to me.
There you
Carly,
go.
where did
I
you get
got
yours?
mine off of eBay, like right after I found out we had a brand new translation, because I actually remembered before I found out about the new translation, because I have the first translation on hardcover Duddle also, and it looks different. It says Harry Potter in English on it. And I remembered seeing on eBay these two different books on eBay, one saying Harry Potter in English and the other with this nice holographic shimmery title in Korean. And I was like, well, that's weird. But I didn't realize that they were two different translations. So when I found out what had happened, I went like a maniac to eBay and just bought one. And I prefer hardcover. I have the Mary Grand Pré hardcover Korean first translation as well.
I know. I love that one in one volume,
that's such a
right?
cool book.
Yeah, it's one volume.
Yeah, I love that book.
When I was in Kyobo Books in Seoul or Daegu, one of the two, I remember seeing hardcover books of all the Harry Potters in Korean, and I was like, well, I don't collect translations, and I left them on the shelf. I was going up the escalator up to the second floor, and I could just, like, me now is so mad at me then. Because I was there. I could have just put them in my suitcase. I had room. And really no excuses.
After you paid for
them.
them.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't steal them, of course. But, yeah, that's...
I could just slip a few of these into my suitcase and
away we go.
Go in with
go.
my trench coat. But that's how I got the second translation. Because I remember seeing it around for like a while, and I was like, well, that's interesting, but there was no hubbub. There was no like second translation, huzzah.
No, there wasn't.
There was nothing.
And when
I think it was Harrison or somebody who was looking at the audiobooks, and he's like, it's a different translator.
Yeah.
Like, it was a big deal, and I was like, what?
And I remember messaging Potterglot Sean, saying like, hey, do you know about this book? And he had no idea, and he had to update the Wikipedia page.
I think it took all of us by surprise.
Yeah, it was really like
Yeah.
No fanfare for this book. It just came out. It's like, hey, the 20th anniversary is out. But they didn't say anything about, like, it's a new translator. Like, they didn't say anything about it.
Not at all. So, like, if Harrison honestly hadn't have been tootling around on the audiobooks, I'm sure we would have found out by now. I don't know how, though, because, we don't look at that kind of stuff often, I guess.
Right.
But I guess that's a lesson.
Well,
like, if we notice, like, it goes from Hangul to English or English to Hangul in another, Korean book, we should probably pay attention.
Pay attention. We can also pay attention to the rarity of this book, which it's not super rare. Like, I haven't ever been to Korea. Carly, you have, so I can't tell you, like, right now if you walk into a store if it's there. But I can tell you can go to eBay and get this book. So it's not hard to get. But you have to be sure that you're getting the right book. Like, this book does come in 2 parts.
The soft cover does.
Which are soft cover. And they're not quite as shiny and shimmery and rainbowy as this book.
And the listings don't always say soft cover or hardcover. The soft cover does say on the front, I believe, that it's part 1 or part 2, so you have to watch for that.
Yes, that is
going to be your giveaway.
So there's like a little circle under the title that will say like 1 or 2, and it's like in Roman numerals, so you can easily decipher that it's either part 1 or part 2. But the covers are exactly the same, and I got burned on that in my original Korean books. I got book 1, part 1. And I'm like, what is this? It's the first time I've ever figured out that books were in 2 parts. And if you want to know more about books in 2 parts, Melanie and I did an episode all about books that come in 2 parts.
And it's a very good
parts.
It's a very good thing, because there's translations from all over that are multiple parts.
Yeah, that was kind of not like a wake-up call, like, Eric, what are you doing, you book collector, you? But that was just something that I've not been exposed to as
we don't see it in English,
in the United States. Like, no, it just doesn't happen. So
and I've had to message sellers on eBay. They'll have like a full set of Korean books, but it's just volume 1. So I'll message them and be like, you're missing
parts of the story. Well, exactly. So make sure if you're buying this book that you are getting the hardcover book. We'll have a picture of this on our, the episode notes and our show notes, and we have pictures of it on our pages and sites and various other locations. But they do look different. So even by looking at the cover, you can tell which one's the hardcover and which one's the soft cover. Even if it's just like small details, you can still tell. So do not fret about that. And then value, I haven't looked today what it was, but I bought mine for a new book price plus a little bit more because it was a reseller on eBay plus shipping. So I would be safe to say if you get this for under $50 US after shipping, that's a good
I think
price.
I paid $35 for mine, if I remember properly.
I was gonna say, I feel like I
great.
feel like I have 40 in my head for whatever reason. I feel like that's probably
I
like about
definitely
right.
did not pay 50, but I don't know what shipping is right now. From Korea.
My eBay seller was in
under
the
50,
States.
You're doing fine under 50.
So, and that's not bad.
No, not at all. So like if he's like, oh, this one's 37, oh, this one's 39. It's like, they're both fine.
Yeah.
Just get one of them. But now we get to talk about
the moment Eric's
this
been
book.
waiting for his
the
whole
moment I've been waiting
his
for.
whole life.
I've already rated this book, but now I'm doing it with you guys, so I'm more excited because at one point I was the only one that had it of the three of us. So we are going to give this book a score with our TOTS scale, which TOTS is short for translation of the show. And the first thing we do is smell it. So let's open it up and smell the book.
I mean, I'll give it an acceptable. I feel like I'm sorry, Eric. I feel like I'm gonna be breaking hearts. Yeah, just an acceptable. I feel like it has like a clean kind of smell, but nothing like crazy. Yeah, acceptable.
I agree with you. Like, I don't know if it's because I've had it for a long time, but it does. It smells clean, but it's not amazing. So I'm going to also give it an acceptable.
Ditto from me.
That's fine. I think the smell is the weakest part of this entire book, I will say.
I gave it acceptable.
Triple A.
Yep.
Triple A for that. All right. Size and proportions. I'm giving it an outstanding. This book is so great. To me, it's the perfect size. I can't even just, it's just great. It's perfect for me. It feels so great. Like, I think it's
don't talk about how it feels, Eric, but I will say size and proportion wise, yeah, I think I would also give it an outstanding. You know what it is? It's so chunky. Like it is
chunky.
It's a thick book, and I feel like that's what's like super fun about it. I love that about it.
It's an outstanding for me as well for the same reasons. Like, I remember when this came in the mail and it was a different size than my other two hardcover Koreans. At first, it was like, oh, but then it's my favorite of the three. It's definitely an outstanding.
Wow, triple O. Ooh. How it feels in your hands. Oh, it is so good. It is, like Melanie will say, it's a buttery, smooth texture. But it's kind of like a little matte finish too. Like there's some grip to it.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yet it's smooth. I don't know how they did that. It's grippy, but it's smooth. The weight is perfect. It opens really well. Like the way that it's bound on the spine, which is probably quality, but like it opens super well. You don't feel like it's cumbersome to read any particular page. Typically, like we've talked about this before, like hardcover books, you can really tell if they're bound well and they're like able to be read well and how they feel in your hands. If you open them to like an early page or a later page, and can you access those pages? Yes, you can in this book. It doesn't seem like it's a chore. It really, God, I love holding this. Like it's so good. Melanie, is it buttery soft?
It is buttery soft. I think my issues with it are not how it feels in my hand. I would give it an outstanding for how it feels. He's like hiding behind his book. He's like, don't say anything bad about this book. I'll give it an outstanding.
You can.
No, I'm going to give it an outstanding for how it feels in my hand because I have just minute gripes. Go ahead,
you
Carly.
You can have minute gripes. This is not a
okay.
We're not being paid. We're not being paid by these various publishers to rate the book. Carly, what would you give it for feel in your hand?
So I feel like mine is a little tainted because it had a sticker right here that when I picked it off, it left a residue. And it's like horrendous. Like if I was just feeling this one part, it would be like troll minus.
Don't feel it again. Don't ever.
I try
feel that
not
spot.
to, and in fact, I've been spending most of this episode trying to wipe it off. And then what happens is it leaves this little sheen because it takes the buttery mat with it. And I'm so perturbed because it was a sticker from my reseller. So it was, or the person I bought it from. It wasn't from the original store. And so that to me is super frustrating because I feel like they tainted my book. So if I could just ignore and just like do this. I love the weight of the book. And I've got small hands and it fits very nicely in my hand. So it's going to be an O from me. But with the caveat being it does not wear well.
So quality, Eric, I think is where we get into some
problems. Yeah.
Well, that is the next category, quality.
His voice pitch dropped.
It did. Well, I've never read this book because I don't speak Korean. I can't read this book. When it comes to quality of this book, I don't have any faults because my book is perfect. I don't know, and so I'm curious as to why yours are not. I think the spine is great. I don't have any spine lean. The quality of the boards are really high. The glue is great. I think the binding is really well done. I love how the boards are made compared to the jacket. I think everything is really, really well done. So I'm giving it an outstanding based on my copy of the book. So I would like to know why you disagree.
Okay.
I see a book that I love.
I know. I just grabbed.
Wow, that's a perfect book there too. You can't.
Sorry. I know. I grabbed Lithuanian because I feel like this is the book that we like talk about when we're talking about like buttery texture. We're talking about Lithuanian.
Yep.
And I love the smooth buttery texture. I don't think it's my favorite when it comes to quality. I love how it feels in my hand, but when it comes to quality, I don't, because I don't like how it smudges. And Eric did this really cute thing, and I did like the same thing where I took the book and I put it up to my face. And it's 11:30 at night where I am, and I haven't washed my face yet for the day. So my face is a little greasy. And I touched it, and just like right where my face touched the book, it got super, super greasy. And that's just my face. But like, if I touch it with my hands, it does leave like smudgy fingerprint spots.
Does leave smudgies. Yeah, I get it.
Which I'm not like the biggest fan of. It's like kind of yucky. Also, mine came with like a dinged spot.
Same. Is it the front left like corner?
It's front left corner. Yeah.
Mine too.
Oh,
and it's pretty.
Not even from the same box.
Like, look.
Yeah, it's pretty substantial.
Yeah, same. And
so like
it dents pretty, like when it damages pretty bad.
Yeah, so that's my only thing. I know Eric's is like literally the perfect book.
Mine is perfect.
I feel like the jacket is like
journey.
Pretty malleable in that like if I just like kind of push it a little bit, the creases kind of like come out a little bit. I don't know. Quality, I'm gonna give it just an acceptable, just because of the things that we were talking about. The smudginess of it is just like not my favorite. Though I'm touching Lithuanian, which is super buttery, and it's really not super smudgy.
But it doesn't have a jacket.
That's true.
I'm
like, you're comparing a hardcover book without a jacket to a jacket of a book.
All right, hold on. Let me go find one that I can compare. Keep talking.
I will. So I'll talk. I talked about this a little bit when I was talking about that sticker that was removed. It's still sticky. Like, it didn't.
Well, yeah, but
I've spent a while working on this.
I wouldn't fault the book for that. I know.
No,
but
I am faulting the book. My reseller should not have put a sticker on there. I get it.
No, they should not have. Absolutely.
But
not.
at the same time, how many other books were you able to peel stickers off and it's just like blammo? It's gone.
I
so
know.
I think,
however, like we have this roll of stickers at my house. They're Halloween stickers. There's like 3,000 of them, and you stick them on anything, and it takes like a month to get all
mine
of
was
that
not a
off.
Halloween
and, like,
sticker.
They're just,
and
it's the sticker.
There's like little smudges at the top for whatever reason. It almost looks like raindrops, only my book has never been wet.
No, that's part of the art. It's on mine too.
Like, it is smudgy from being on the shelf. It's shelfware. I can see.
Can I tell you guys a cool fun fact?
Always.
I'm looking at my shelf, and as far as like buttery texture books go, like I would say Lithuanian is like my go-to for that. Any Kazu Kibuishi. This is the only one with buttery texture that the texture's on the jacket. I don't see any other book on my shelf that has buttery texture jacket.
Huh. I think you're right, actually.
Isn't that crazy? I just looked through like my whole shelf.
I've got Belarusian
shelves
right here. But
Belarusian
It's a
but there's no jacket.
There's no jacket.
Nope, there's no jacket.
Right.
It's just a hardcover.
They've achieved it. They've achieved the buttery soft texture on a piece of paper.
I'm still going to give it an acceptable as far as quality because it doesn't wear well.
Yes. Exactly.
That's fair.
Like, had it been the actual book with the buttery texture, maybe we'd be in a different boat. I don't know.
But it's still
I'm not going to try to ding mine to find out if mine has
don't
the same
do that because it won't. It may not handle it well, and I don't want you disappointed. But
and I may not handle it well.
I love this book overall. Like, it's my favorite Korean hardcover book. Like, everything about it, I think, is fabulous. I just wish the quality were better.
Understandable.
But
you know what this book does do a great job at, and you cannot disagree with me. You're not allowed. The interpretation of the cover art. It is one of the best, in my opinion, Johnny Diddle covers. Like
it's the logo.
Sparkles.
It's the logo for
it. The logo is so good, and it's the same shimmery sparkle as like the stars on the back, and the Harry Potter on the spine is shimmery sparkly.
It's like so an iridescent silver, which. We've seen that on
a few... And the sticker too.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not a sticker. It's like a stamp.
It's like a stamp. Yeah, you're right. It looks like a sticker, but it's, yeah.
But I feel like we've seen this like iridescent effect on, I'm pretty sure Indonesian has it. There's a couple others.
The new Spanish book.
Yeah. But I feel like it just like it's magical. So anytime I see that on a cover, I think that that's awesome and I love it. And I will give an outstanding to this book for interpretation of cover art because you're right. It's just very magically done the way that they've interpreted the Johnny Diddle art. Love it.
So I was checking out the Johnny Diddle first translation and then the second. And they're both buttery soft covers. It's the same texture cover. And the boards are even the same, which is cool. I know. But what is interesting is that this has a darker purple to it than the first translation. So and it's a little bit, if I look at the color saturation on the covers, the second translation is a little bit more saturated than the first translation. So I think it's a well done book overall. I think it's probably outstanding minus overall.
His fingers are crossed. He's like, please say something that I like about this.
No,
I was thrilled when this came in the mail, especially after I got over to the disappointment that it was shorter than its counterpart, Diddle. I actually prefer it over the first translation and even the Mary Grand Pré translation or cover art for several reasons. But I think it is overall a well done book.
Awesome. And then the last category is the X Factor. We can pick anything that we would like that sets this book apart. I know what you are going to pick.
You don't know what I'm going to pick.
You don't.
I knew you were going to say that. or gesture
Melanie,
that.
Melanie always picks the ribbon bookmark.
I love a
which
good
this
ribbon
book
bookmark.
does have. This doesn't count as an answer. I just still want to reiterate the expectations I had for this book versus what arrived were so different that that was just amazing for me. But just the shimmery shininess of all of the logos and the stars, and it's not the same shimmery shininess, but it's on the boards. It's on there's just so much of this book that is shining and magical that sets it apart from any other Johnny Dettle cover, period, for me. That's my X factor.
I want to see what Carly's X factor is going to be before I say mine.
I love the paste downs. I think those are so pretty. And I know other translations have those, but I like the quality of the paper for the paste down. I like that it continues on to the second, the other side of the page. And I like that it's also the back side. So for me, I think it's that. I like that they're just not a solid color. They continued on the theme from, the shiny shimmery stars on the cover of the jacket, back of the jacket, boards of the book, and into the paste downs. It's a nice continuity.
It's like they're turning the volume down slowly.
They are, and it's like like when you're watching a show at the theater and they start dimming the lights, but it's a gradual dimming. It's the same kind of thing here. It's very well done, I think.
All right, are you ready for mine?
Yes.
Because I've never seen this on any other Harry Potter book. And I think it's incredibly innovative and smart. If you look at the jacket, the little flappies on the inside of the dust jacket curve down. They're not perfectly square. And I love that on the top and the bottom, because a lot of time the corners of the dust jackets tend... Oh, Eric just found another book that has that. Typically, if they are perfectly square, then the corners get damaged really easily. And I feel like because they're tapered on all four corners, it's going to keep the jacket in a lot better condition, the corners of the jacket. Eric just showed me that Japanese does that as well. Everyone's running to their shelves to go find more books that do it.
Well, the other two Koreans do that as well. The first translations also do that.
I just think that's so innovative.
It's a great idea. It really is a great idea.
Because you're right. It
just
really does.
Preserves the longevity of the book, or of the jacket for sure. And I feel like, just as book people and collector people and people that are cognizant of value of these books, we know that book collecting in general, the value's in the jacket. I feel like
so
90% of the time, if you have a book and it's missing the jacket, you're missing a huge chunk of the value of that book.
Well, especially if you've got a first print of anything that's valuable. If you don't have the jacket.
Oh, for sure. So,
Good luck.
I definitely think that because of that, the preservation of this jacket is going to be highly superior to a book that doesn't have that same little tapered technique to it. So
I'd agree.
That's my X factor for this lovely book that Eric loves oh so much.
I do. And is it a perfect book? No. It's a really, really, really good book. And again, what I thought was going to come in the mail versus what showed up during a time when the whole world was in chaos. This book was just so amazing when it showed up, along with the Yiddish book that we just talked about. They both came during the pandemic at my house, and I just loved it. It was so cool to just get these
so very welcomed
2 back-to-back really, really great books in the mail. So love it. If you have a chance, get the hardcover. Don't get the soft cover. If you don't care, get the soft cover. But the hardcover one is so splendid, even just for the shininess.
Hardcover, second translation, in 1 volume with Johnny Dettle cover art.
Korean.
That's the book.
That's the book.
If you enjoyed what we were talking about with this book and you want to hear more about Harry Potter books, you can follow us on all sorts of social media, and you could go back. We've got 3 seasons worth of content now because this is the beginning of our 4th season of this podcast. So you've got a lot that you can catch up on. You can listen
and there's
to
no order.
There isn't. You could just pick a random episode.
No,
oh, they're talking about pre-movie fonts. Wait, they're talking about tips going to Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Like, that's my jam. Go ahead and listen to that one. You're not going to miss anything. So
no, there's no continuity. There's no like inside joke. Well, there are some inside jokes, but no, you don't have to listen to one.
I can fill you in on all of our inside jokes right now. Ready? Tots means translation of the show. Sometimes we have a dad joke of the show because sometimes we say corny jokes that are dad jokes and they turn into the dad joke of the show. We don't do it every episode, but every so often it gets thrown in there. I could tell you another insider is that Carly's favorite color is green. And I could tell you that she really loves Asturian. She doesn't collect
Funko Pops.
She does. No, she really likes Asturian and she loves the Lithuanian book. And another inside joke is that Eric really loves Korean translation with Johnny Duddle cover art. It's the second translation.
One volume.
And it's in one volume. Hardcover.
Yeah, that's the one. That is the one.
Enjoy listening to all of these inside jokes, and you want to hear more, you can listen to us on any of our podcast hosting platforms. We're on all of them. You can also find this podcast on Instagram at Dialogue Alley Podcast. You can find our individual Instagrams, Carly at All the Pretty Books, Eric at Nocturne Eric. You can find me at the Harry Potter Collection. We also have a few websites that you can visit to give you more information. If you guys listen to this episode and you're like, wow, collecting Harry Potter books sounds so cool, where can I get more information on how to collect these books and what books are there and all that jazz, you could go to alltheprettybooks.net. You could go to theharrypottercollection.com, or you could go to dialoguealley.com. That is the website for this podcast, which we're constantly trying to revamp and revitalize and make more resourceful, and it's a work in progress. We're working on it, guys. It's still 2023. We've got time. You can also find this podcast on Twitter, on Facebook. I'm on TikTok, all those things. One of the cool places that you can find us is on MuggleNet. We're a MuggleNet family podcast, so you can listen to this podcast or any other Harry Potter podcast that MuggleNet puts out, which is really cool. And if you really, really like what you're listening to, you can support us on Patreon. We have extra content on there. There's bonus episodes every so often. I think Eric and I are going to do like a Disney chit chat episode probably because
we both went to Disney.
We both did Disney, so we're gonna do like a little Disney episode in one of our bonus episodes coming up. But you know, we also offer ad-free episodes if you support us on Patreon. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. There's a Discord. It's a cool place. And that's pretty much it. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for coming back for season 4. We're excited to be here.
Yeah.
Season 4. But with all of that being said, now it is time to walk back through the archway and into our daily lives, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.